Welcome to another awesome video from ACB Memphis.
Now what do you think this is?
It's a tape player.
It's sort of a tape player. This is the 3M message repeater. What do you think this is used for?
Repeating messages.
Yeah.
It's in the name.
Hey, don't chew with your mouth full.
Pick up your dirty clothes. So this is actually a commercial tape player, and while it does resemble a consumer cassette deck, it's not designed to be used around the house, but in the back room of a wiring closet somewhere. It has different controls than a home cassette deck and different outputs. And on the back, it doesn't have the standard RCA line input and output connectors, but just screw terminals because it's designed to be wired in and just basically forgotten away somewhere, repeating messages forever. Now, 3M should be a familiar name as they still make a lot of products that you find around the house today, like Scotch tape. They also made magnetic tape and a bunch of other stuff. And coincidentally, while making this video, I learned that there's a very similar model to this recorder made by the SKC Corporation, and the back of this says SKC also, so it may have just been something that 3M put their name on.
Looks interesting.
Have you ever been on waiting on hold on a phone call and they say, our operators are standing, we'll be with you as soon as possible? That's kind of what this thing is for. It can interrupt background music with up to 12 messages.
Yeah, I heard of the whole thing.
But I don't think it's just for phone lines, because there's also ways to trigger messages on demand by connecting switches to the back. There wasn't a lot of information online about this particular model. There was an article from '88 about it being used in a casino as part of their technology. But anyway, we're going to look into it and just see how it works.
Yeah. Here we go.
So basically it's just a mono cassette deck. It uses the left channel of the tape only, and this little tinny speaker sounds a lot worse than the line output, but it's clearly designed for voice and not music. So in order to hear the line output mode, I'm going to just use a little JPL speaker hooked up to the line output, and for the input I'm going to use this little Bluetooth receiver here. It just transmits some music from the YouTube audio library. So we've got our line input here, which would represent the background music being generated, and we've got our output, which would represent the speaker system. Let's put it in broadcast mode and turn it on and look at how that might work. Let's see. So there's our background music. Now let's flip this to continuous.
Welcome to another awesome video from ACB Memphis. Attention! Please don't forget to wash your hands before leaving the restroom. Thank you. Hello. We're sorry you're having to wait. Our customer representatives are standing by, and I'm sure they are just dying to speak with you. Attention all passengers, the next bus is departing for Funkytown. If you'd like to be taken to
So as you can see, by flipping the switches up or down for a certain message, you can control whether or not it's part of the broadcast sequence. And it just, in the continuous mode, it'll just go through that sequence over and over again. And then now here it is resetting back to the beginning. So if we set our message to one of these timers, and I've timed it, it'll just play a message every so many minutes. If we set it to off, then it's not going to do anything, but with the screw terminals on the back side, we can trigger a message. So let me just take something metal, and I'll touch the trigger on the next message button.
Welcome to another awesome
So I just triggered message number 1.
ACB Memphis.
Let's look at how these things work. This is the volume of the auxiliary input, the line input. We've got the muting effect. Turn that all the way up so that when a message plays, it mutes the output. We've got the volume of the message relative to the overall volume. And then over here, the auxiliary sense. I'm assuming that senses like the muting somehow, but you can increase the volume there. This switch goes for message number 12, this one for message number 11, 10 and 9, and of course the next message here. We want to inject a message immediately.
Hello. We're sorry you're having to wait. Our customer representatives are standing by, and I'm sure they are just dying to speak with you.
So we're going to go to message number 1, and we're going to try recording a message. So here we go. We're going to be at message number 1. All right. When I say go, say when this thing says 000, say welcome to another awesome video from ACB Memphis.
Okay. Welcome to another awesome video from ACB Memphis. Okay.
All right, there we go. It worked. So now it's flashing. I guess it's recording a blank space, and then we'll try playing it back.
Okay. Welcome to another awesome video from ACB Memphis.
Let's look inside this thing. See what all we're dealing with here. So we got some interesting stuff going on here. Definitely, it's a power section over here. This is all computer stuff, Mitsubishi chips. There's all your switches. And the cassette mechanism itself has to be pretty robust, I would think, to run all the time. Oh yeah, you can see it's a direct drive motor. There's no belt on that.
We're attempting to record message number 1 again for all you fans out there. This is message number 1.
Very large heat sink on the power supply. I guess regulators or something. This thing is definitely meant to run all the time. There's our tiny little speaker. Some of these switches have gone bad. Like, for example, this button is supposed to select message 1. Doesn't work. But I can short it out manually here. So I've selected message 1. Now when I play, again, the button doesn't work, but I can do that and it'll play. So some of these switches on this end of the board do work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to desolder them from this end and swap out these switches.
Hello, this is message number 1. This is message number 1.
So that was really the only thing wrong with this was those switches. Now, it was worn out. It was sluggish rewinding, and occasionally it would miss some message markers, but it was really in good shape for a 40-year-old cassette deck. And it's worth noting that, using cassette as a media to find these messages was quickly replaced by digital. Even in the 1988 magazine where I got information about this, there were 2 ads that advertised some digital solutions, and you can find those online today. Thanks as always for watching this video, and you can help us fight inflation by inflating our like and subscription count. So if you like old weird technology like this, we'd appreciate a like or subscribe so we can afford to keep making these videos. Thanks a lot.
See you next time for another awesome video.
Bye.
Please don't forget to feed the puppy dog. Please don't forget to feed the puppy dog. Thank you.